Bryer is the head of Oxfam's inequality campaign, and he joins us now from London. Nick, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us. Oxfam says then that offshore tax shelters are one of the main ways that some of the world's wealthiest evade paying taxes, but they're perfectly legal, aren't they? So what is the solution here?
So we need to see real courage and commitment from political leaders to tackle tax havens. As you say, there's an estimate of about $7.6 trillion of individuals' wealth is held in these offshore tax havens, places like the Cayman Islands or Bermuda. And that's not to mention the amount of wealth that some of the world's biggest companies are stashing there. And, you know, this is money that should be being spent on creating jobs, on driving up wages, on getting children into school or sick people into hospital. And instead, it's being hidden away in these tax havens. And so politicians really have to come together and take meaningful action to address that, because otherwise this spiralling inequality will continue to get worse.
But there are certain countries and governments that actively encourage this. I mean, is it possible to convince them to change their approach? What's going to be the incentive?
It's one of these strange situations where if everyone acts only in their own most immediate self-interest, they think it's good to try and undercut their neighbours, and you end up with this race to the bottom with ever less taxation and ever less regulation of companies and individuals. But looked at collectively, it's obvious that a race to the bottom is bad for everybody. It means we end up, well, with the richest and the wealthiest individuals and companies, those most able to contribute in tax, being the ones who contribute the least. It's an upside-down world where billionaires are paying lower tax rates than nurses and teachers. So looked at rationally, it's obvious that it's not in anyone's interest for this to continue, except the interests of the super rich who are benefiting. So politicians simply need to decide whether they want to act in the interest of the majority or in the interests of that very small but powerful minority.
OK, Nick, unfortunately time is against us, but thank you very much for talking to us here at TRT World.